Hi TACACS.net users, I'm Cameron and I'm going to show you some of the terrific logging features of the TACACS.net server with a quick demonstration so you can see just how simple it is to enhance your logging capabilities with TACACS.net. We're going to be configuring the TACACS.net server to use a remote syslog aggregator, and for this demo I'll be using Kiwi Syslog Web Access, but TACACS.net will work with any standards compliant syslog server. I'll also be referring to the Enhanced Logging Configuration Guide, which can be found on our website. Now, some of what I'll be showing you is only available with our Enhanced Logging feature, included with the advanced versions of the TACACS.net server. So if you're using the free version, many of these features won't apply, but they're a great reason to upgrade. So the first thing we're going to do is open logging.xml in our TACACS.net configuration files and set the server up to send alerts to the remote syslog server. The configuration file includes two example remote syslog configurations, so all you have to do is remove the comments and configure the attributes to suit your deployment. And for this demo, I'm going to make a few adjustments to my configuration file. First, notice that I'll be using the system log as opposed to the accounting log. The difference being that the accounting log will only show authentication and authorization pass-fail events, whereas the system log will show server events like start, stop, license errors, and time sync issues. This allows greater flexibility in the types of log information that can be sent to different departments or teams. For example, you may want to send the system log to the server the admins use, and send the accounting logs to the compliance team, and so on. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is change the IP address of my remote syslog server from the default because it is not installed on the same machine as my TACACS server. And I'm also going to change the host name of the server to Kiwi Web Access, and this can be anything you want to name the server. It's only relevant to this configuration file and used to identify which server the entries belong to in the log output. The TACACS.net syslog severities available are critical, error, warning, and informational. Do not use the debug severity because it will send a lot of traffic and may cause your system to become unstable. I'm going to go ahead and keep the default setting at informational because that will send us the most relevant events for the demo. And note that you can also change the protocol, port, facility, and other settings. The different RFCs refer to structured or unstructured logging, and in most cases, the defaults should be used. Okay, now that we have our remote syslog configuration set, I'm going to head over to our testing environment to demonstrate how TACACS.net performs with remote syslog. Alright, I'm over here in my testing environment and I have a split screen with the Kiwi Web Access interface on the left and a command prompt on the right. And I'll begin here by simply stopping and starting the service using the net stop and net start commands. And a heads up here, you'll need to have the prompt open as admin to be able to run those commands. Okay, so we've restarted the service, and as you can see, we've received some alerts in the Kiwi server. Next, I'll be using TACTest to test authentication and authorization. TACTest is included with TACACS.net and can be downloaded for free from our website. And TACTest will work with any TACACS Plus server, not just TACACS.net, and example commands are included in TACTest with the /? switch. So the first command I'm going to issue will be an authentication request of my test user, creatively named user1, with an equally creative password of pass. And again, we can see some log entries pop up. Now let's see what happens when I send the request with an invalid password. So I'm just going to go ahead and change my password here. And there we see the authentication request fails. and that event is reflected in the log output. And now I'm going to try an invalid user. So I'll go ahead and change my test user here and send this request and see what the output looks like. So there we have another failed request and some more entries in our log. Now let's send a request with an invalid shared secret. And for that, I'm going to change the shared secret from secret to not secret and see what happens. And there we go. A message is entered in the log asking if the encryption keys are correct for the client. And now for the authorization tests. So we can check for specific commands the user may or may not be allowed to run. And I've set up my configuration to allow user 1 to only run show commands, so that's what I'll test first. Show running configuration. And there we see TACACS displays that the user is allowed to execute the show running configuration command with a positive result, and we also have that result displayed in Kiwi. And now if I change the command to configure terminal and run the command, and we see the authorization request fails, and the message in the syslog reflects that. Okay, so our server configuration is working as expected, and we have some pretty solid logging capabilities here. I hope you enjoyed this demonstration, and check back soon where we'll be exploring some more of the great features of the TACACS.NET TACACS Plus server. Thanks for watching.